to go to Facebook Live. Good morning and welcome, everybody. Great to have you here this morning. 1 Million Cups, we are all about drinking lots of coffee every Wednesday morning and helping business owners out in our community. And next slide. For those of you who may not be aware, the Kauffman Foundation is the parent organization of 1 Million Cups. They invest in over 120 plus communities who every Wednesday morning all across the country drink coffee and help businesses out, really like a mind share. And so that's hence the name 1 Million Cups. Lots of coffee to get midway through the week. And for visitors, welcome. I think we have a lot of familiar faces today, so I'm going to skip this slide. What I would ask, though, is for attendees, please put your name, email, how you want to be contacted in the chat. We'll make sure we save the chat at the end, but we'd love to stay in touch with our community.
Missed one. There we go.
If you would, please scan the QR code with your phone and just check in. We want to make sure that we let 1 Million Cups and Kauffman Corporate know what we're up to, and that we have lots of attendees and are making an impact. So this is volunteer. Sometimes people ask, do you get paid to do this? No, we do not get paid. We do this because we love supporting businesses. Many of us are entrepreneurs and business owners, and we love giving back. So you can see the organizing team up top. Many of us on the call today are brand ambassadors who are out increasing visibility. What I would love to do is ask people in the room, invite a guest for next week. We love expanding our community and bringing new people. And again, you'll see that QR code pop up. So if you missed it earlier and you didn't get a chance to sign in, you can certainly do it here as well. So again, thank you to our organizers. Makes a huge difference when we have a big team. This is national and local, as I mentioned. It's all about making sure that we're helping businesses from idea through organizations that have been around for years, either launch, grow, pivot, scale, but every business owner, no matter how long you've been around or how new your business is, we face business challenges. So that's why people come and present here. The idea is that this is about presentations. So we want business owners just to share your story. Here's who your business is. And then as a community, we really create authentic connections, get to know each other so we can help each other, not only in this meeting, but outside of this meeting. As I mentioned, it's for business owners run by business owners. This is a very inclusive community. We have businesses and leaders of all sorts. So again, please join, attend. It's free for everybody. And we love to spread the word. We do also have location sponsors, and we have monthly coffee sponsors. So I'm going to turn John Rudenberg, if you want to speak to the Mason Enterprise Center in Fairfax, they are our location sponsor. If you want to speak to them, that would be great.
Been my pleasure. So we're lucky that Eddie Hill, who's the executive of Mason Enterprise, has made us a home. Once a month, we meet in person at the Mason Center. We utilize their training room. But the Mason Center is anything from a virtual office services to full services with mentoring, with all kinds of programs to help entrepreneurs grow their business and to support entrepreneurs' quest for success. So we salute Mason and really appreciate them as our sponsor.
And next up, our coffee sponsor, Amy Hughes. If you would tell us about your amazing 48 Blocks Fine Candy.
Good morning, all. I'm Amy Hughes with 48 Blocks Fine Candy. We are manufacturing marshmallows, caramels, and fruit pâtés here in Fairfax County, and we're currently accepting orders for special events and corporate gifts late spring and summer. There's still a few spots in May. If you've got graduates or need something unique, come find me, and I'm putting my contact information in the chat. Thanks, Jen.
Is it too late for Mother's Day? I'm just asking for a friend.
Yes, unfortunately.
All right, Mother's Day should be every day, so we'll work that out outside.
Okay.
And next slide. Really thrilled to have a very familiar face back and for us to partner with Donnell Johns. I see you're on. Donnell was the founder of this particular chapter for 1MillionCups Fairfax. And if Donnell wants to speak to this, we're just thrilled to launch and announce our partnership with Veterans Growing America. So Donnell, welcome this morning.
Good morning, all, and thank you. It's so good to be back. First of all, the reason why I founded 1MillionCups is because there's millions of entrepreneurs out there that need the support of other entrepreneurs. And I had to step away for a bit because Veterans Growing America was taking off all across America. And the one thing that I really needed for our organization is a mastermind group that can help us showcase, grow, and scale our business. And I was like, why haven't I been sharing this to my community, my veteran-owned community? That's something that I wasn't doing. And I was like, you know what, we're going to do that. We're going to partner back with the organization, and we're going to be able to, support, veteran and military spouse small businesses. So it's a pleasure to be back and be here today with my family. I miss you guys immensely. And I'm so proud of, us, going strong since, what was this, 2017 when we started, 2018? Yeah.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, so we've been going strong since 2018. And, thank you guys for, continuing to move this forward. And now we're going to move forward with Veterans Growing America. So thank you.
Absolutely. For some attendees who've been around for a while, Monifa Keynes is part of VGA. She's also part of Dog Tag Bakery and the Dog Tag Foundation. So we've already had a few past presenters come through from Veterans Growing America, and we're really excited that many of the veteran-owned businesses now will have a really easy funnel to come in and share their businesses, and hopefully we can help them. So thrilled, Donnell, to have you back. You're a fantastic leader, and we're thrilled to be able to talk with you.
Yay!
Yay! All right, next slide. So just a reminder how our meetings work. We will have our presenter, Tommy Marks, today, talk for about 6 to 8 minutes. Sometimes it might go a little bit over depending on how things are happening, but then we will turn into the Q&A mode. And so we'll ask questions to understand more about the business if we need to. We'll share insights or ideas. As you're called on by our moderator, just unmute yourself, share your insight. What I would ask is keep it brief. And then Tommy, also for you to keep the answer brief as much as possible, just so we can have as many questions to get to as we can. And then lastly, put yourself back on mute. Everybody, including organizers, try to stick to one question. We'll keep rotating through and get to as many questions as we can. You can also put your question or thought in chat, just so we have a record of it. We will do our best to capture that too. So Tommy, you'll get the recording of the video, the chat with all of those notes. So no pressure at all to take notes. We want to make sure we're all fully present. Next slide. As I said, please use chat. You can drop in your questions. We'll remind you to save the chat at the end and network with each other. This is all about building our community. So if there's someone you want to talk with offline, please do so. Welcome, Robert. Great to see you. Thank you for joining us. Thanks, John Foster, for being here too. Just best practices, be friendly and be nice. These are some different ways of saying things. We all have lots of different ideas, and it's always good to be kind and constructive. So for a challenge question, Tommy has been a past presenter, and a lot of it is around sharing not only what Tommy does, but more about the Virginia MBDA Business Center, how they support businesses. And it's not just seeking capital, but also many resources that Tommy can then help deploy. But Tommy, if you want to speak to your challenge question, give folks a little bit more context for how best can we help you today as you're sharing and updating.
Okay, good morning, and thanks. million, if you will, for having me back again. Didn't know I did so well. But just for those that probably heard me talk at the first one, but just a brief synopsis of what we do. The center itself is a grant funded by the Department of Commerce, and we provide business consultation to businesses in 5 key areas: global business development, access to capital, access to contracts, and that's at all levels: local, county, state, and federal level. Access to markets and strategic business consulting. That's what our mission is. And you can go to the next slide. And top right of the slide is the things I just mentioned that we do. It's a small but dynamic team. Myself and Claudia Barrera, full-time. We are actually co-located with the Mason Enterprise Center with the team of folks over here and Eddie. And I have 3 consultants that work with me, and we got combined probably about 100 years worth of contracting acquisition experience. The people that are on my team. A key project. Please go to the next slide. And since this is a national organization with a chapter here, there are 50 business centers and 41 which are the carbon copy that I run across the United States. So no matter where you are, there's one near you. Again, funded by the Department of Commerce. The 9 specialty centers focus on 4 focus on exporting, 4 focuses on advanced manufacturing, and then 1 focuses on just the federal government in and of itself. None of the services, well, all the services are free, excuse me, that are provided by the center in-house. Any referrals that we do, which are many because of, we don't do proposal writing, those types of things, but we work with resource partners. You may have to pay a fee for that. But to meet me and to talk with my folks, you've already paid for it through your appropriated tax dollars that funds this grant, is what I tell people. So you're just getting part of your money back. The next chart. One of the newest programs that we have is called Capital Readiness Program. And this is actually a combination funded by Treasury, but through the Minority Business Development Agency, which is who we work and support. The funding last September, a 4-year grant for $3 million that our parent organization, the Capital Region Minority Supply Development Council, was one of 43 out of 1,000 selected to provide technical assistance in the capital arena. And simply what we do is provide technical assistance to increase and enhance a business owner's financial literacy. And then at the end of the pipeline, we partner with resource partners in the capital arena, banks, community development, financial institutions like Mason Enterprise runs out of Springfield, the CBP, the Community Business Partnership, and they're the ones that actually would lend the capital to you if your company qualifies. But we work with across the Commonwealth. In fact, I was in Virginia Beach yesterday with a group of resource partners led by the Virginia Small Business and Supply Diversity folks. They're on their spring tour, if you will. And so, but this program, completely funded, it provides not money, but training to get you ready to compete or secure that capital. And so my colleague, Sonia Bigelow-Smith, runs this, and we can talk more about it with you if you're interested. The training is collaborated with, for example, ODU, the Old Dominion University in Norfolk, Virginia State, down in Petersburg, excuse me, University of Maryland Global Campus up here in Northern Virginia, because it's a regional footprint that we have. And we got vendors starting a program on the 16th of May, the next one. But there's the website can give you a lot more information. Excuse me. Next. And you'll get this information, but CRMSDC stands for Capital Region Minority Supply Development Council. That's a nonprofit, and that's my higher headquarters, if you will. And then, of course, I run the center out of the MEC, and then the Capital Readiness Program that I just talked about. Next chart. And the floor is open for questions.
Thanks, Tommy. I will be your moderator this
Okay.
morning. My job is to identify people who have questions, concerns, comments, or suggestions. The way that it works best when we're online is for you to raise your hand physically, but even better is to use the hand raise function that's built into Zoom. If nobody has a question, I want to go back to the previous slide. It wasn't clear to me what MBE certification was on this slide, Tommy.
Okay, so the CRMSDC is a part of a national organization called the National Minority Supply Development Council, and they do a private certification for minority business enterprises that is tied to corporate America. So we're a regional. This is a regional office here that's responsible for Northern Virginia down to Fredericksburg, all of Maryland and DC. And so we certify on behalf of the national organization those companies that are interested. There's a fee for that. But tied to that is 70 of the 1,500 corporate members of NMSDC, 70 of those national international headquarters are located in the DMV. So our members of the council and on our board of directors are the likes of the defense giants that we have in the region, the two hospitality giants, Marriott and Hilton, construction folks, all of the major banks are a member of this organization. And so as for their supply chain, they reach out to the council for certified companies that they then put in their supply chain.
I've got a question about that I'll ask as we come around again. Next, John Rutenberg.
Thank you, Tommy. Really appreciate what you're doing and appreciate you being here today for us. So your challenge question speaks to resources, and one of the resources certainly is capital. So what are the obstacles that prevent lenders from lending to small business? And conversely, where have you seen success? And what about that small business made the lender motivated to make that loan?
And so some of the barriers typically are really a lack of knowledge and being prepared when you go to a bank for small businesses. Okay. That's one of the keys. So that capital readiness program that has been launched nationally by Treasury and Commerce is to increase the knowledge that a company has. From most small businesses, a lot of times it's you go into the bank and you want a loan, but to support your business, but you got to be able to explain. You got to be able to talk to your profit and loss statement, which is typically the first question you're going to be asked. And if you can't speak to that, the bank is not going to take a chance on you because of the risk. And so the collaborative effort that's taking place is actually with the banks and the lending institutions in order to help get a company ready. So when they do go for that, that task of securing a loan, that they're better prepared to talk to it. Because ultimately, if I can convince the bank that I'm not a great risk, and I'm gonna be able to pay the money back, the chance you'll get the money.
Okay. Thank you.
Jen Dalton and then Melinda Sigel.
Tommy, thanks for presenting today. The mission of the organization is fantastic and really inspiring. Who are some of the partners that have successfully sort of deployed resources through you to businesses? Can you highlight who's a great partner and how big they are, how you found them?
Right.
What makes a great partner?
Yeah. So, probably the first partnership is my headquarters, which runs this business center. The synergies that we have is the fact that I mentioned that most of the major banks in the area are members of the council. So, but that doesn't mean that a company I'm dealing with when you automatically gonna get a loan from M&T Bank, right? But what it gives us is we have those resource partners that actually take the time through our webinar program and talk to the businesses through their each one of them have a small business arm and community banking arm in order to how you can best position yourself in order to help secure a loan from. So so there's a lot of education that to date that we've been able to get them to impart, because every bank's different, and what do I need to bring to the table in order to be to get qualified. So we've been successful from a technical assistance standpoint to date. And the next step is, now securing those loans for operational capital.
Melinda, you're next up.
Great. Fabulous presentation. Really lots of opportunities that we can help you build. One of the things I was thinking about was your MBE alumni group. Do you have an ambassadors group or anything? Do you meet regularly? And if the answer is no, maybe there's a way we can all collaborate and utilize and help you get visibility for your MBE alumni group and or even your resource partners like the banks, where if they wanted to present to a group and possibly even a challenge, how do they find the right folks or whatever it might be, might be an interesting way to integrate our two organizations and help you guys grow. But I was just thinking that if you don't already have something for your graduates, that would be really a nice program that you can. I mean, I started looking at it and then said MBE alumni group, and then came MAG, the MAG program or something. I don't know. But there might be a way with recognition where you put together mentors and other people that can help others so that you integrate more into your organization and use your students and people that have been through the program as well as your partners to help you build. Just start building up the foundation and put together programs for all of them where they get visibility. And maybe you do an event for banks one month, maybe you do an event for other types of organizations another month.
Right. So in place currently is I do monthly webinars, and I bring on different entities, which include those resource partners, for example. So just as you spoke, I mean, we did a banking one this in February, focused on how to do business, and it actually was at M&T Bank. But I don't have ambassadors. I guess I would say formally, but I have a lot of advocates in those resource partners, and probably one of the key ones is working with the state's small business office. As I mentioned, I was just in Virginia Beach with them yesterday. I'll be in Harrisburg on next Thursday, I think it is Wednesday, Thursday. I lost track of days and times. And then there's some key partners that we got MOUs with that we if you will share resources, right? That and their focus is on small businesses. For example, the Metropolitan Business League, which focuses on small businesses across the Commonwealth. They're opening up a new office in the Norfolk and Hampton Roads area, but they actually have unlike me, I can only do technical assistance. They do technical assistance and they have a lending arm that we refer folks to. But that you can secure a loan up to $50,000. And for most small businesses, 10, even at the micro level, $10,000 for operating capital, that's one of the things that folks will be looking for, especially after they win. Winning a contract is one thing. Execution is really the key in the end, right? Because if I can't deliver after you've awarded me the contract, then I got one shot to impress you, because chances and they ain't coming back if I can't get that up and running.
So it's come around back to me. I wanted to return to my curiosity about the MBE certification.
Mm-hmm.
Can you take a moment and run down some of the things that qualify you to get the MBE? What are some of the characteristics? What are the important criteria?
Right. So this particular certification is focused on minority businesses, and that's the charter mission of the national organization. And so it is we do it once a month. First Thursday of the month, there's an open forum like this that folks can attend, and we go over the history of the organization and then the application process, which based on what there are 4 classes that classify the businesses in. Class 1 is under $1 million, class 2 $1 million to 10, class 3 10 to 49, and then 50 and over is class 4. And in our particular case with Capital Region, we've got some class 4s that are billionaire companies. But again, the certification is one that corporate America put in place actually to help diversify their supply chain, if you will. It's been around for over 50 years. And so and based on your revenue is the cost of the certification that's renewable annually.
Thank you. Let me move on to next, John Foster.
Hey, thank you so much. Tommy, really appreciate your presentation, because I got to tell you, I from a resource standpoint, I wasn't aware. And I think the question I have, and maybe it's just me, but to understand, I don't know if you call it competition, but the other organizations and things that I'll say compete, maybe, just to understand kind of the playing field, if you will.
Right. So, the question I often get asked is, what makes you different from the small business development centers that SBA funds through the states and through Mason? Right. What makes you different than now called the Apex Accelerator? It used to be the Procurement Technical Assistance Center. So it's simply this: we're all in the same family, focusing on small businesses across the board, regardless of what type of small business you are. But so we focus on those companies that have revenue $500,000 and more. So companies that are stable, that are looking to expand and grow their company. Obviously, and I say this to people, I've learned to say this: when my phone rings, to date, even with AI, I can't tell whether you are a startup, midway along that business line, or you're a billionaire company. So once I talk to you, then we can determine, hey, you need to be talking to my buddies over at SBDC because you're brand new. You need help with writing business plans, because we're not into writing business plans. You come to us, I expect you to know that already. And then the Apex Accelerator, which is funded by Department of Defense, and Mason here runs that across the state, the Commonwealth. They are ones that get into proposal writing, those types of things. And so, but we all collaborate together. In fact, my office was originally in Alexandria, right off of across the street from the King Street Metro. I moved here in last October because the three entities have always been working together. So now we got a synergy. We're next door to each other, sharing the same space.
Great. Thank you, Tommy.
Donnell, chime in.
Hey, no, Tommy, thank you so much for being here. You actually answered my question in the last question, but because I have startup businesses all the way up to, multi-million-dollar businesses within my network. But most of the people that I support are mostly startup businesses that sell a product. And so you answered the question that they need to be with the SBDC, Small Business Administration, and that type of stuff for those guys. But I also actually shared this Facebook Live with my group, which has businesses of all levels. And so this is the first time that I'm hearing about this, and so I'm super excited to share this information in the group with them so they know that you're a resource.
Right, and most people don't realize it, but MBDA, which is a Minority Business Development Agency, is a bureau of Department of Commerce. It's been around since 1969. Okay, and if you're following the news, you also know that we've got some lawsuits against us right now because the mission was focused solely on minority businesses in 5 ethnic groups. And so, but as of January, that actually changed. And we focus on all small businesses, no matter what your ethnicity is.
So how did they get in? Well, I guess we'll get to that at the end. But
how did they get in touch with me?
Keep going, Donnell. You're good.
Was that the question, Darnell? How did they get in touch with me?
Yes. How did they get in touch with you? Because
that link is live there in the slides, but I thought I put my website in the chat, but I think Gene probably did. But if you go to my website, there is a new client registration, and it's got a 2-page company profile I ask people to fill out and email it to our office email, and Claudia will set up a 30-minute Zoom initial conversation. The profile just asks you some basic questions and what it is that you're looking for, kind of set the stage for the conversation.
Donna, I'll drop those links in chat, but we will share them as a follow-up also.
yes, I got them, and I'm putting them in Facebook right now.
So the direct, this link may take folks to the big MBDA. So my website is www.mbda-virginia.com.
That'll get people closer for sure.
I'll make sure that's in the chat.
So
actually, it is. Okay. Thanks, Jim.
So I have a question about branding. Since the charge of your organization has expanded beyond the 5 ethnic groups, do you anticipate rebranding?
Well, that's up to the federal government, right? Because the name MBDA, Minority Business Development Agency, is actually is codified in law by Congress as of November 2021. Now, for 50 years, it operated on executive orders of every president that we had. No lawsuits before November 2021, right? After November the 19th, the lawsuits came. This is just Tommy. I don't know where it's going to go, but my office has worked with anybody that walked through the door or made a phone call, right? Because typically, we get a lot of startups which I can't work with to begin with. So guess what? I'm referring you to the places you got to be. But there may be a name change of the organization, but obviously that's up to the folks on 14th and Constitution that we support, you know, right.
Amy Hughes, step up.
Thank you very much for the presentation, Tommy. I appreciate the information. I have a lot of government contracting and consulting in a previous life. So my question is related to the certification, particularly. So I am not doing government business, but curious if that certification is also something that's valuable when we're looking at larger sized organizations, for example, Major League Baseball or one of the larger sports entities, if we're looking to get into that space, if that certification bears weight there as well.
You know, a good question, Amy. I'd have to go back and check, but I've not seen any of those organizations that are, well, that's not true. So in our area, the folks that own the Caps and the Mystics, Metropolitan it's
Monumental.
Monumental with
Monumental,
Ted
yeah.
Leonsis and all of them.
Yeah. Monumental is one of our corporate members. And in fact, they're one of their vice presidents, their vice president is now the chair of our board of directors. So locally in the DMV, we have you know, a sports entity as a part of the organization. Now, and I want to be clear. So the Capital Region, which is the NMSDC certification, that is not needed to do federal work, right? And that's separate from my third hat is director of the Business Center. My first two hats is vice president and CEO of the council. So I want to be clear for the folks in the audience, to be a member of the Virginia MBDA Business Center, you don't need that certification. Yeah.
Thank you.
That's a worthwhile clarification. Anybody looking for funding and interested in the resources that can be provided through Tommy's organization to build up what you need to do? I recently had an experience with a client and a loan broker, and the package of requested information was substantial. And you would need a lot of financial literacy in order to be able to fulfill the requirements of the package for loan applications. It's quite the challenge, especially for small business owners whose time and attention is so focused on the business crisis in front of their eyes. I have another question that I'd like to ask Tommy. It seems as though a lot of small businesses are passing through your organization and passing through your view, your site. Do you have any notion about how we can expand our reach to provide our services as not a mastermind group, but as a resource for those entrepreneurs and small business owners? We're looking to expand our footprint, our influence, our impact. And it seems as though your client base is exactly the kind of people who we may be able to provide support to through our expertise that we share Wednesday mornings.
Clearly, we can collaborate as resource partners, and and I can share with the network that I have, what the benefits are, what the organization is about, and what the benefits are. That you can't ever have enough resource partners from my seat. Right?
Well, don't be surprised if we approach you for a further conversation on that subject. Jen Dalton, you're up next.
Tommy, we've talked a lot about funding, which obviously is critical. What are the next 2 or 3 resources that your organization provides that would be helpful for businesses to know about, that you think are most important that businesses may just not be aware of?
Right. So the services that I mentioned that we provide, access to capital is just one. My team and I work with companies on a daily basis for access to contracts, right? And what we mean by that is, if you're seeking contracts at any level for that matter, what we do is we're connectors, is what I call us, right? I'm not a procurement office. I don't have a dashboard that, again, here's some requirements. Hey, John, if you contact these people, you got a chance. What we do is you tell me, after we've had that conversation about where you want to take your business, I want to go to try to do some work with Health and Human Services. Then with our network, we reach out to Health and Human Services after you've done your homework. That is, you've done the research and your capabilities match to a requirement that they have. And then we secure meetings, starting with the small business office, working our way up to the program guys to get you before them so that you can share with them what makes you stand apart and how you can best help them with their mission. So that's the number one thing that I drive at, right? And that's what most folks come in and can help me get a contract. And so that would be those are the keys.
So I'm going to take the opportunity to ask another question,
Okay.
if I may. You mentioned that you have a lot of supportive organizations that are outside of the government. You mentioned the large scale hospitality businesses.
Mm-hmm.
In this instance where you're helping somebody who's looking for contracts, is it solely all levels of government, or does it include the commercial realm as well?
It's across all portfolios and does include the commercial realm. So, you got companies, they just want to work locally or the state. So we reach out through our contacts. If what you're interested in is Fairfax County, we have a relationship with the economic development folks in Fairfax County. So, it's a long list of relationships that without the list in front of me, my memory is not what it used to be. Used to pride myself, I could just roll it back to you. But
mine is not what it used to be either.
Now at 15 years old, my brain has kind of settled back. But so we really try to get into connecting people. We do warm introductions, so we never send somebody, hey, go and talk to John, here's his number, without me doing that introduction that we got company X looking for this, and then we let them run. The door is open. They come back when they need when they need follow-ups. They reach back out, but at all levels. And we've got a network of relationships with I came out of the federal government, so needless to say, a lot of my background is back to the federal side of the house. But working through the small business offices in the different agencies is my key to entry, and that's how we try to get folks connected.
Great. We're coming up on 9:45. We can do a couple of more questions, and then we'll move on a bit. If nobody else has got anything on the top of mind, I'd like to ask a question to the people here. How do you think you might be able to use the resources that Tommy Mark's organizations provide in your business? Does anybody have any notion of how they might be able to do that? I can pick on somebody. I'm looking at you, Robert Ashcraft. It seems to me that some of the folks that Tommy is working with are folks that might fit within your avatar of good clients. You don't have to be put on the spot if you don't want to.
Yeah. I have a broad range and definitely would help with it,
Well,
because I just had one in particular that would benefit.
That's great. So I'm going to press on regardless. This was our challenge question, but I'm going to move past that. So our final question, Danelle Johns, it's traditional for you. With your presence here, I would hate to take that away from you. Would you address the final question of this morning's program?
Awesome. I'll be happy to. It's been a while. But Tommy, how could our 1 Million Cups community help you?
Well, I think my answer would be the same. I think when I first met, I mean, you have a reach that can help us with getting the word out, the awareness of what this organization is about. As we try to function across the Commonwealth, in particular, because until 2021, we were only responsible for talking with folks in Northern Virginia, and of course, the center that took care of Northern Virginia was out of Maryland. I'm not saying not good neighbors, but there weren't many Virginia businesses, right? And I'm still working for folks out of Maryland. Just to be totally transparent, that's where Capital Region, they located out of Silver Springs, but won the rights to operate a business center for the whole Commonwealth. So I would say helping me get the word out that, hey, one, we exist, and the services, like a number of programs, doesn't cost a business owner dollars, but it costs them time, which we know it still equates to dollars, right? They got to be interested in growing their businesses, but the resources are here, and that's the greatest thing.
Before I turn it back to you, Jen, John Foster has raised his hand. John, what's up?
Yeah, real quick, I just couldn't help it just because my my preponderance as far as LinkedIn goes. Jen's laughing at me. I think, Tommy, looking at LinkedIn, certainly for getting the word out would be a worthwhile endeavor. I don't know how much you all have done, but I think there's some things that could be very helpful on LinkedIn.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, and I think we've got you call it from a social media standpoint, we've got we're tied to. I think LinkedIn is one of them we're tied to, but there's, I'm not the social media guru, but got some people that we're working with that smarter than me on how to make sure all that marketing takes place. But yeah.
Oh, thank you, John. We'll expect you to represent LinkedIn here on a regular basis.
Well,
Jen.
I was gonna say I do run a class every week at Wednesday at 12:14.
No self-promotion here, right?
Nope.
Okay, Jen, back at you.
John Foster definitely put a link to that in chat.
Yes, will do.
We do have some presenters coming up. You can see our presenter for next week. We're always looking for presenters, so that's one of the reasons we're excited. Donnell joined us today, is to continue to support the veterans community, but every business here is welcome. Your business does not have to be perfect. It just needs to be something you're willing to share so we can give you feedback on. And again, it can be an idea. It does not have to be fully fleshed out, or it can be 1 year in, 2 year in, whatever that is. We're here to help. So again, please join us next week for Adam. We'd love to have you here and invite someone. So after this meeting, take a note from Donnell and go share our content from Facebook Live to your own personal page or business page. If you'd like to be an organizer, we're a friendly lot. The more we have, the easier work it is for everyone. We just meet once a week, Monday mornings, to plan for the week, get ready, and of course, we show up Wednesday to make everything happen. So if you're interested in giving back or adding something to your personal brand, please join us. We'd love to have you. Just let us know in chat. Tommy, you'd be a great organizer, just saying. Upcoming events, excuse me. So every Thursday morning, I'll do my self-promotion for referral network clients. You're welcome to join virtually. The first Thursday of every month is in person. Tomorrow will actually be virtual. May 17th, there is the Networking Business Expo, and Larry Webb, the SBA director, will be the keynote for that. May 28th is Reston Chamber Network Night at Fogo de Chao. Love to make that a team networking event, or let us know if you're going to attend. We'd love to be a wing person for you. You can scan that QR code. The Central Fairfax Chamber also has tons of events on their website if you want a one-stop shop to see what else is happening. We do have another application and review too, Positive Pathways to Resolution and Success. So again, we are filling up our pipeline, but we'd love to have more. This is a free event. We make it very easy to sign up and tell your story. Fill out a form. It automatically makes your presentation. Although Tommy gave us his awesome slides already for today, but we really try to make it easy for anybody. So again, if you know a business owner who has a challenge they're facing, just let us know. We'd love to help them come up, show up, and get some great free feedback. You can scan that QR code. You'll see lots of helpful links there. You can use this bit.ly as well. We did have a town hall over the last couple of weeks where we got a lot of great feedback from this community. So please look for updates and changes in our communications as we incorporate those insights and lessons learned. Stay tuned, but thank you to James Lawson, to Amy, and to folks who were on the call who really gave us fantastic feedback. Our job is to be the best group possible for our business community. So your insight helps us do that. Again, do follow us on Twitter, LinkedIn, or Facebook. You can scan that QR code and follow us there. If you want to promote your events, we don't mind if you share content on those pages. We're happy to spread the word. Just let us know. You can also drop them in chat. I see John Foster did. I would recommend, folks, before you drop off, make sure you save the chat. We had a lot of good links and conversation and ideas. Tommy will send you a copy of that as well. But again, thank you everybody for being here.